Hey y'all, come look at this.
Hi.
Hey. Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
Guys, I'm Lakshit. Welcome to Just Arduino Things. My name is TechnoWizards, TechieTube. And in this video, I'm going to see about relay modules. Let's go to the video.
Switching off coil relay modules. Let's start. So the components required are Arduino Uno, 1 channel 5V DC relay module, some number cables for connection, an Arduino bus cable, and some breadboards if necessary, and if you can use some light source to connect it to the relay. So it's an electromagnetic relay, and this has a low purpose switching circuit, like they don't use it for much high speed switching applications. This is a low speed switching application. For high speeds we have a different relay called SST, which I'll be taking in a few days. So about this relay, there's a coil, and in this relay board there are totally 5 points. There's a VCC, there's a ground, there's an input pin, and the other side we have like some 3 pins as well. So the other side we have this common NONC common pin, which we can just give a supply to it, and this is like the normally open, normally closed. So as you know, all switches have either an open loop circuit or a closed loop circuit with, to connect with. Here is also the same, but the condition will be like this. You go supply at the common, you take either the output from the NO or NC based upon your application. NO reacts to whenever the relay is on, NO engages and becomes an NC, and so the vice versa for the NC part. It will be switch on while the relay is off, and whenever the relay is on, it will switch to NO and just the supply cuts. So this is how the relay module works. So let's assemble. So I have this Arduino Uno with me. I'm taking this. I'm connecting the 13th pin to the input pin of the relay module, and VCC ground I'm taking from the board. As said, the relay is 5V power supply. If your relay is 12V or 24V power supply, you need to add a power supply for unit for the same. And other end so this is a relay module. So this I'm just connecting VCC to 5V and ground to ground, the input pin to the 13th pin. You can also take any pins from the DODI pins from the Arduino, which is from 2 to 13. As you all know, the 1 and 0 and 1 are the TXRX pins.
Okay, just now see about the coding part.
So yes, we'll do code explanation videos from now onwards, but still we'll need to produce another video explaining all types of coding with regards to Arduino. Like we'll explain how a command works, how it needs to be written, and how it will be working behind the hardware. So we'll just explain all this in a separate video, but for now we'll explain what code that you can use here and how it is working. I can see the code, but I actually just realized that my screen record didn't record the output part, so I'll just add it here. So for working with this relay, we have given like 3 codes. I'll explain one by one. So the first code will be the auto loop code for the relay to switch in 1 second interval. So if you see the code here, there's a line called int em switch is equal to 13. So in my hardware, all the digital input output pins are numbered So in that I'm defining my 13th pin is my electromagnetic switch command, or whatever the output comes in will come in 13th pin on the hardware. So we have two sections on the code. One is the void setup and the void loop. So in the void setup there are two lines, pin mode 13 comma output. So this line refers to the, initially I have defined my EM switch as my 13th pin. Now I am giving my 13th pin should be an output pin. So this is where you declare your DI and DO, or even you can declare your A and IO also. So this is the section. So the second line will be like serial.begin 9600. So for 9600 baud rate, the serial begin will run. So the what do the serial begin actually defines? So there is a serial monitor we have in Arduino, which you can see the output, as we have done some projects as well in the past. So that serial monitor should actually initiate with some command. So that command is this command. So serial refers to the serial or the communication which is going from our ABC Arduino bus cable. Dot begin is to initiate the serial communication. So this is how you get it. And then comes your void loop. In the void loop I am just given some 6 lines of code. So I'll just explain in short. So the first 3 lines refers to the first line, just says that digital write, or this analog write and digital write is actually my output values which comes. Okay, so I am actually initiating if my loop runs. So in the first loop it is an auto loop code. It will switch on for 1 second, switch off for, it will switch on for 1 second, it will switch off for 1 second. So it will actually, before it will switch on, so digital write EM switch, it make my EM switch high, and there's a delay for 1 second, which is 1000 milliseconds. And next point line is serial.print line. So serial.print line, what it prints is EM switches on the serial monitor. So similarly, I have given it for the low command. I have given it for the EM switch to be low in the digital write, and then there's a delay of 1 second, and there's a serial print line EM switches off. So here comes for our second code. The second code is timer based switching on the relay by the user input. So initially it was an auto loop where you don't give any feedback or input to the serial monitor or to the hardware, so it runs automatically. But here you give an input based on the value that you need to switch on the light for a particular time. So if say that I need to switch on my light for some 10 seconds, I'll just go there once the loop. As you see the code, you can understand what I've written also. I'll just explain the snippet part. So in the code I have just given the serial.print line, enter number of seconds. So that will be printed. Once this comes, you'll just enter the number. So if I want to make my light switch on for 10 seconds, I'll just give it 10. And there's a 10-second delay initially to set up the code. This is just normal, it comes every 10 seconds. This doesn't react with our logics. So if my value is 10, so the next line will go like that const int n is equal to serial %. You see one line, right? So this line actually gets my value. So whatever value I get, it is the serial.parseInt is the command which waits for the user to input any integer value. ParseInt is to pass the input. So once my value is received, it declares it to the n part. It declares it to the n variable, and thus their logic runs. So if n is greater than 0, that is my value is 10, so it will go into the loop. Else it doesn't go into the loop, it will just be off. So if it's greater than 0, so then my serial print line will print, then my digital write will make my EM switch high, then there's a delay of n seconds that I need to switch it on. Say 10, so 10 into 1000, this 10,000 delay, 10,000 milliseconds, which refers to 10 seconds. There will be a delay of 10 seconds to switch it off again. So that's next line, and then the serial print line comes like EM switch was on for the specified seconds. So this is how this code runs. So I have also written a code for the counter part. So this is the counter based switching on the relay by the user input. In the previous code, we have given an input value to make n number of seconds for the light to be on. Similarly, we can just give an input to this code, to the serial monitor, to follow the value to make our light blink for the n number of seconds. Like it will turn off and turn on for the n number of times. So the code is most similar. The logic part comes, so there's a serial print line, there's a 10 second delay for setting up, and there's an serial parsen which we give the value declares to n. Then we have just declare x as a normal variable. So inside the for loop, if x is like lesser than n, it pushes the value to +1. That's it. So this is how it runs in the code. So the switch is on, the switch is off for 1 second. So this is how the basic blink code actually runs, where you can get it in the example codes at the file menu. So the same part I have just copied pasted here, but still I have like given you for a loop to run on the same. Let's assume if I want to blink my relay or LED for 5 times, I'll just give 5, which is my n is lesser than x. So x will actually increment itself until it comes to 5. So once it 5, it is not lesser than n, so the code ends. So once it does its for loop code, then it comes out. Then it again asks for the number of times it runs. This is how the code works.
Apart from YouTube, we have pages on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, Twitter, and also LinkedIn. So just you can see and share your thoughts about the videos that we post and the content you need to see in our channel. Hope you like this video. Let's meet in another video. Until then, it's sign off from Lakshit. Bye bye.